Welcome again, my dear friends. The wait is finally, eventually finished. NUX has published a few days ago the final version of firmware 5.0.1 for our NUX MG-30. So in this video, I'm going to show you what are the news. Those that are declared by NUX, but there are some little hidden bonuses, so follow the video until the end to make sure that you're not losing anything. Just give me a moment for that. Okay, here we are for the publishing of this firmware. Let's turn on our machine. Well, now I'm just looking. You may have noticed that it was 5.0.1. I have already my custom logo on that. So turning on the machine, I'm switching to this view because I would like to show you. I will use QuickTone software for showing you the details. In this video, I'm not going to show you how to upgrade to firmware version 5.0.1. I have to tell you, it's quite a sensitive activity because there are some warnings, some important steps that you need to take to avoid problems. There is another video in the channel that is going to be published right after this one. So if you need a step-by-step guide that simply reflects what the manufacturer said it's important to do. So I just followed step by step what the manufacturer said. It will be available next week. So be patient. Either or if you are an affiliate, it will be ready for you in the moment. But in the meantime, for this week, I would like to focus on which are the news provided with this great improvement. A very quick list that is the possibility to have ProSynth, the possibility to have loopback in USB routing with a warning I will explain then, the metronome within the system, the possibility to have not only drums with different styles, but also a very clean metronome that for practicing, in my opinion, is the best solution. Also, the frequency, the speed, the BPM of the system. So when you are selecting in a preset the speed, the beats per minute, any delay will sync to that if you are using subdivisions. It will be also possible to select syn up and down using the external pedal. That is a great advantage in my opinion. But also there are three bonuses that are not mentioned on NUX website that I would like to show you during this meeting. Okay, give me just a second. I'm loading the page of. Here we go with the website. So what I've been listing is what you will find of the main page. This one, if you need to use that, the official page for the system. If you scroll down, you will find that there are many informations on the device, including what are the change logs of recent updates. So scrolling down and down, version 5 firmware update. As I said, ProSynth, you will see a sample. Serial or branch option for send and return. This is very interesting in my opinion. I've been using it for some time. Then we also have loopback option for USB routing, the metronome within the drum and loop, and then it is also possible to have the BPM related to subdivision of the delay, as we said, and the possibility to use the external footswitch for changing syn up and down. As I said, there are some bonuses that are not mentioned here. So, being said this, I would like to show you these ones one by one. So, I'm closing this and showing you in the QuickTone for better news. But in any case, I will keep also the screen of the machine here. This way, you can also see that there are some configuration that are easier to be addressed directly on the machine. They are faster. It's strange because normally the software should make it easier, but that is the case. So The first one I would like to talk you about is probably the most advertised option that is now provided. That is the possibility to have pro scenes. To give you an idea on what they are, it is important that we harmonize to the definition of scenes. Many devices, many multi-effects, pedal boards, and so on, are advertised as supporting scenes, or sometimes they are named snapshots or something like that. Well, also MG-30 already had the support for scenes, but of course the definition is different from a device to another. The real definition of snapshot should be a picture of your effect chain that can be changed in many aspects. Normally, the interpretation, even with very expensive machines, is that you can change the parameter, turn on and off some effects, but generally speaking, you should not be able between scenes to switch different effects, or maybe sometimes not even change the line, the position of effect blocks in the chain. MG30 until today, with the firmware version 4.0.3, supported scenes, but there were some limitations. You could take some sort of snapshots, but for example, you could not change the effects between different scenes. Now, with ProScenes, we have really a great flexibility because it is really possible to change any effect, including their parameters. So, of course, you have different options, but it is also possible to change even the amplifier. So let me give you an idea. If I take this, for example, a clean one, I will every now and then string my guitar so that you can have an idea of the sound. You see that this chain includes an effect with a booster, with gain and something like that, and a clean amplifier, an IR, and then a delay and reverb. So very simple in scene 1. All the scenes are identical in here. So scene 1, scene 2, and scene 3 are exactly the same I'm acting here when I'm speaking about in the top right corner in QuickTone software. Excuse me. And you see that it is possible in any case to select the scenes. By the way, they change also on the screen of the device. That is what you are expecting. But in any case, the sound is exactly the same. And by the way, you cannot even tell from hearing that I switched between scenes, because it is absolutely seamless, this change. Of course, changing nothing, there is no computational activities to perform, so we are not expecting any glitch or any delay. But here it is possible to do different things. For example, let's keep scene 1 as it is. In scene 2, instead of this effect, I would like to to insert a tube screamer, for example, and push the drive to the max, and we get this kind of sound. Let's remove the delay from here, so bypass it, remove the reverb to use it for a rhythm, for rhythmics, for example. I could use, for example, a noise gate instead, because now we are using having a distortion, so it could be helpful to have this possibility. So now I have this kind of sound without delay and without reverb. Let's put scene 3 in an even different way. So instead of these usual effects that it is what we had before, we can keep it. Maybe we can use it for a sort of arpeggio. So let's use it really as a booster. Or let's imagine that you can want to use it for a solo. Let's increase the volume. Let's increase the gain. Some more trebles. And that is possible. So I change only the parameter. I can increase the gain even in the amplifier. Then we can change, for example, we can put an equalizer in the chain, and we want a delay and reverb, but maybe a different reverb instead of large hole, that is to, let's keep maybe just a spring reverb, very simple. And instead of the delay, I would like to have a chorus, for example. And this is what we are expecting for example, for a solo. It is highly distorted with many post effects and so on. Let's save. Of course, this way we have scene 3 saved. Scene 2 has been already saved, as you can see. Of course, Just make sure one thing that is unchanged from previous version. When you change something in the scenes, you can change. You can fine tune every single scene, and then you can save only once. It is saved inside the preset. So when you save the preset, all the scenes are saved. But make sure that you're not changing preset while doing these changes. Otherwise, you are going to experience some. It will not will reset to the original configuration of the scene. Well, one thing that I wanted to show you that we can do here is also we can change even the amplifier. For example, let's use a Soldano for here because we want better rectify the distortion like this one. Okay. Well, one thing that I would like let's stop the let's start the noise gate as well as even here. Okay. Well, there is a long tail. No. Let's move to this scene. This scene has a reverb that you can tell. What I would like to let you hear is that in the scene 2 we don't have a reverb. But if I from scene 1 change to scene 2, you can tell that there is a tail of the effects before. So even changing scene, it's fantastic because the post effect that were applied have also a tail when changing the scene. That is great, in my opinion, because it is how it is expected to be. If we are speaking especially for of a post effect, delay, reverb, like the echo, they simulate what is happening within a large room, a church, or something like that. So it is important to have this tail because this is natural. If changing scene, you would experience a perfect cut of the sound. It would sound really artificial. And that is one of the troubles that sometimes there are even with some real pedals, especially if they are digital. Here we have also this particular support that is fantastic in my opinion. But you have seen I was able to change the effect in the same block. I was able to change the amplifier. I was able to add and remove delay, change also that one. One other thing that it is possible to do is even changing maybe uh, the the order. So I can move, for example, the reverb before the chorus. I want to do it. It's possible. So it is incredibly flexible. In simple words, now scenes can give you exactly the same freedom that you have with a complete preset. So honestly, you can use them in two different ways. One is to say I have 128 by 3 presets. So I have tripled my presets. Or, to be this the most important, most interesting one, I have 3 different scenes or snapshots for a single preset that I can use in different positions. Especially for live use, it's fantastic because, for example, if you want to play a specific song that have, for example, like we did in this simulation, um, highly three-dimensional arpeggio, so high reverb, high delay, maybe even chorus. Excuse me. Then you have a rhythmic with some distortion, scene 2, and then you have a solo when you need a boost, higher distortion, some post effect, scene 3. You have three, all of them, and you can switch them between during the song seamlessly. You don't hear you don't need a glitch. Even changing from scene 1, that is this one, to scene 3, you it's difficult to tell that there was this change. There is, I have to tell you, there is a very, very small switch, but it is so short. It is comparable to the line through time of the machine that is below 3 milliseconds. So you can tell it is. But it is very similar to what you are experiencing when pushing the bypass button on a real pedal. So honestly speaking, it's a great opportunity. I would like to give you my personal feedback about this one. This is huge, especially considering the time it happened. This machine is 3 years old. It's been in the market since 3 years ago. The last update in firmware was released exactly 1 year ago. So And the price, and most important, the price, the street price of this machine is going down and down. It costs much less than it used to. You can find a lot of promotions. It's a bargain, honestly speaking, not because of the quality, but probably just because of its age. In my opinion, it's better than many devices that have been released more recently, but this is somehow forgotten by the market. Who wanted already purchased it, who didn't want it, now that we are trying to sell them, decreasing the price. I am an example. I purchased this pre-owned by a friend, and I paid it half the street price. That is great for me. It's really a Best Buy at this level. But what I want to transfer is that from a commercial point of view, is a dead device, is a cash cow. So NUX should just leave it as it is, try to sell what they have in stock, decreasing the price just to have a very small revenue from that, and that's all. Instead, they decided to provide a huge update through in firmware after 3 years with an incredible improvement. This functionality alone, ProSense, is something that you will struggle to find in devices that cost 600, 700, or even more. So, in my opinion, it's a huge leap in the functionalities of this machine. So, thank you again, NUX. I'm really astonished about this, and I am not endorsed. I purchased this with my money. NUX doesn't exist, doesn't know I exist. My channel is very small, so I'm not paid or affiliated in any way with NUX. This is just my personal opinion about this device that I'm using in my real life. Everything you see in the channel is used by myself for my playing, for my practice, and so on. So thank you again for this is what I wanted to show you, and thank you for following me so far. I know I'm really speaking a lot. Let's go on with the next topic. After this step, it is also possible to have some additional functionalities for the send and return block. If I select it here, it's turned off. Let me turn it on. You see that now it is possible to, and it is possible to see it also with the description from the website here. It is possible to have this picture, in my opinion, speaks for itself. Let me hide for a moment. This one, I mean, so shows you that it is possible to use the send as a second output. So you can use the regular outputs to go into a mixer, and the send, instead of using it for send and return, can be used as a second mono output that you can put inside your guitar amp. This, in my opinion, is fixing one of the hugest drawbacks of this machine. Many other machines, even in the same price range, has two different options for output. One to go into the mixer or a PA system, and one for the speaker you are keeping behind you for a live use. For live use, in my opinion, having two outputs is very important, especially having a stereo output to go into the mixer. This way you can have also the stereo effects like delay, reverbs, and so on. But it is also important to have a monitor that you can use live reliably. This was not possible before, or at least it was somehow possible, but now it has been officialized. So what is happening is that if you activate it, that is the option that now it is available in quick tone. So let me hide this one that makes confusion. You activate serial. Now you are in the second section. So if you make serial, it is the send and return as expected. So it is expecting to have an output and then something coming back. If you put it in branch, the output is going there. There are two important things that I need two warnings that I need to give you about this. Of course, what you're gonna hear from the cabin, your combo that you are connecting through the send at this point, not to the output, depends on the place where you are placing the section of the send and return. If you put it out after the reverb, you will hear also the after effects, so modulation, reverb. If you put it right behind, right after the amplifier, you will not hear what is coming after. This is logical. So I think that you are, you have no doubts about this. Sorry, turned off. Give me a second. You know, the live the live effects. I had something disappear for a moment. So it's important to remember that the position of send and return can change everything, because it can make a huge difference about what you're gonna hear. Of course, you will need always to save what you're doing, because it is you can make as many changes as you want, but until you don't save, they are lost if you change preset or scene. So you need to do it. I have to tell you, I tested it using my external combo, and using instead the usual output for going into my audio card. It works. There is an important warning. As I said, it is important the position where you place it. Second, I was not able, so maybe I'm doing something wrong. I will try to clarify this one with NUX. Regardless of the position where I place in send and return, I'm not able to hear from the cabinet the drums or the looper. So if I activate the looper as usual, or activate the drum or so, I'm not able to hear them within the send and return, from what is going out of send and return. If instead I take the mono out, the left output, and I put it in my cabinet, I can hear everything, including the looper and everything else. This sounds a little strange in my opinion. I think it can be a bug, or I may be doing something wrong. So, as I said, I will double check. But for the moment, keep in mind this one. If, in case you are probably you are better than me in investigating this option, and you find out a way to make it work together, just let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to give you credits and to make an update for this video. So, being this, let's have a look at the next option, that is the loopback in USB routing. Okay, I can have a look at that from QuickTone. If you go in settings, it's evident that in routing mode, you can have normal, you can select the balance between dry and wet, as usual. All these options were available. There is also the loopback option. What is the meaning of loopback option? In my opinion, the picture gives you an explanation. It means that whatever you are throwing into USB is coming back. So if you are playing a backing track from your computer to the MG-30, that is always possible, and you play onto it, what is coming back that you may record in your very same computer using your favorite DAW or something like that will also include the backing track you have been sending, backing track or any other audio signal, including your voice. You can have a mic connected to your computer, route it to the MG-30, and then record everything all together on the other side. I have to tell you, I found this option more useful on other very lightweight devices like the NUX MP Pro or something like that, where you can record with your smartphone. You can do it also here, but the point is that you always need power for making it work, so it is more suitable in an environment where you can have also your computer or so. But in any case, it can be helpful, of course. If you are sending the backing track from your same computer, why not recording it in a second track on your DAW? I prefer this because also sync them or leveling the different volumes is easier. But it's an option. So if you like it, if you want, for example, as the machine is not so power hungry, it can be operated with the power bank, and there are a lot of examples online on how to do it. It could be possible that you connect this to a smartphone instead of, and then maybe you take a video while you are playing with a backing track or even singing, so your smartphone mic can record your voice, and from USB you can record both backing track and your guitar. It's up to you. It's an additional opportunity, so in my opinion it is good. The only note I would like to take is that honestly, I remember this option and I tested it also in version 4.0.3. So it looks like they forgot to mention it in the previous firmware update, and they are mentioning it here. I mention it here. If you go try your QuickTone software with version 4.0.3, you will find that the loopback option is still available. What can be probably different is that it is now more clear, in my opinion, in the in the screen. So if I return for a moment here, you see that it is very evident and it is possible to activate the loopback very quickly from the machine. So this one was not so evident in the previous version, but in QuickTone was still available. In any case, also this one is another option that you may have not noticed in the past and now is available to you. So give me a second. I'm returning to the other. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And now let's go on with point third. That is the availability of the metronome in the drum. If you go into the drum machine, you can look it in the screen, and it is possible to select it from here, but then you select the style. You see that it is possible to have met written here. I hope you can see it. That is the metronome, but it is easier, of course, to have it from here, from this one. You see that it is already selected. You can tap tempo, you can decide many options for the drum. You see, if I can select, MET stands for metronome, that is now available. It is available in different frequencies, so 4/4 in fourth, or in eighth, in 16th, and so on. So you have different options for the metronome. It's a clean metronome that I believe that you should be able to hear now from also from the machine. Okay, yes, of course, I need to activate the other option or loop back. This way now you can hear it. I hope you can hear the click. I can hear it, so I hope you can hear it as well. Of course, if I change the frequency, it is gonna change from here. So if I want it faster, I can do it with the tap tempo. It is possible to have it in eighth, in different frequencies, and but it always gives you the main quarter. So in any case, it's working. So I think it's a good help. Personally, I have to tell you, I really like it because I found this to be a great tool. I've seen NUX adding and removing this functionality in different machines, in different options. For example, it was in the NUX Mighty Air that I have been explaining a lot of times on this channel. It was removed in MP Pro, and many people complained about this because I have to be honest. Personally, I like the metronome for practicing, and in my opinion, it improved a lot your rhythm sensitivity. It's better than any backing track, in my opinion. Backing track comes later. In my opinion, for practicing, I greatly prefer the metronome because it gives you a connection with the drum, with the real drum, and so on. And it is always helpful to improve our rhythm sensitivity. So it's a great update, in my opinion. It's a great addition. I really appreciate it. The next improvement I would like to show you is the possibility to have a synchronization between the delay, only the delay, so this affects only the delay block, and the BPM in your preset. For example, we have a preset here that it is synchronized to 120. Okay, let's select the scene 1, for example. So I will be using it. Deactivate other effects that are not so helpful and would produce would temper your perception. Let's keep the reverb at the end, and let's have a look at the delay. This one is a delay that is not so useful. By the way, I will switch every now and then to the screen on machine because there are some options that are more usable on the machine than in QuickTone. That is really strange. In any case, let's select a delay like, for example, tape echo that I really like. You see that it has different knobs. One is the level, so I'm putting it at 100%, so the level of repetitions will be at similar, same volume and as the input signal. Then the time can be decided here, and the repeat, and what I'm expecting is something like this. I hope you can hear it. Let me increase a moment. Okay, and you can tell that there is a repetition, that it is aligned with the 120 ppm. So what is happening if I'm changing this one? For example, let's put this into something much smaller, like 50. What we are expecting is that the delay is keeping the same time. That's not like that, because now they are synchronized. So if I push them, you can tell, can you hear that the repetitions, let me repetitions are much more distant between one to each other, because they have been synchronized. This is the time is 100%. That means one full quarter. But the quarter length has changed because we changed the BPM, and the effect has aligned to that. This is great, in my opinion, because, for example, I want to put it in a higher level. So you can tell that there is a repetition very fast, very quick. Let me turn on the background, the background music, so that you can hear it better. So they have become much more frequent, because now the BPMs are 200, and this is still a full quarter. So it is very. If I want to, okay, and it works, of course, if there we have a fractional. Let's put it to 50. So the time, you see, is as extended, because I have decreased the length here. So in simple words, we can synchronize these two. And the great thing is that you can create your effect chain. Decide your reverb. You want sorry, your delay. You want your delay somehow synchronized with your sound. Let's imagine some sounds like, for example, what has been used by by the Edge, or guitarists like that use a lot the delay in a great way. And it is important to have a perfect timing, considering the song. This way you can use the same chain for different songs with different BPMs with the same effects. So, for example, if want you to play "Run Like Hell" from Pink Floyd, that has a specific timing, and then you want to play "Pride" from U2 with the same using the same chain, you can do it with just a little fine tune, because you just need to change the BPM. That is the main difference, because both they use, for example, a delay in 8D, dotted 8, as it is mentioned like time. That it is one of the most impressing type of delay that you can use. What is missing here in QuickTone is that you cannot select the subdivision from here. You need to do it but you can do it from the machine. That is another an advantage. So let me switch for a moment to this picture. You see that if I keep delay pressed and I enter the block, there is a fourth knob here that is subdivision, and you see that it can be switched. For example, if I want dotted 8, I just need to select that position and have it and have that subdivision. So this is great for live use, because normally in live use you need to do this, and now that it is synchronized with the BPM, it's really fantastic. I don't understand why it is not included in QuickTone, because honestly, so you would expect that on your computer everything is even more user-friendly than compared to the machine. But in any case, usability here is very good, and you can select it from here, and it is still aligned to that. That is something really interesting, in my opinion, and really helpful. Another great addition that we can obtain from this one. So one of the last official upgrade mentioned by NUX is the possibility to use the external footswitch that is bundled inside the machine, to change the scene back and forth. How to do it? You just need to select the pedals option. So in the top right corner, press the pedal, and for the buttons 2 and 3, that are this one, A and B, you can select what to do. For example, you can have seen the you see that there are tip and ring, generally speaking. No, so the 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 pedal is the number 3. This one. Number 2, if you are connecting an external expression pedal. With number 3, that is mentioned here, where is 3 is written, you have tail and ring, because normally a dual footswitch is mentioned like that. Here it is also mentioned like A and B. It's the same. So it says TS up means tail, sin up, tail, sin down. I'm keeping it for sin down. Automatically, ring will become sin up. So these two options must be together. You cannot, as far as, oh no, really, instead, you can keep them separated. So you can have both of them. But for example, if you want, you can use them like this. This one is decreasing, this one is increasing. To show you this, it's very easy. Of course, I need to make sure I saved. Give me a second, as usual. Okay, now you see that we are in scene 3. If I press scene down, scene 2, scene 1, and up, and also it is rotating, so when it reaches scene 3, is returning to scene 1. Okay, this one something similar to this was already possible for changing the scene. It was already possible in the past to use the control button. That is something we need to configure here. For example, control button is button 4. In this, I can select scene. With the control button, it was possible to change scene and decide if we wanted to keep scene 3 on or off. Why? Because, of course, having a single button, the problem is that you are always scrolling in line, scene 2, scene 3, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. If you wanted to jump from scene 1 to what you have in configuration scene 3 or back, or for example, if you are in scene 2 and you want to return to scene 1, you have to go through scene 3. It was possible, it's in my opinion a bad solution, it was possible in the past to deactivate scene 3 and having only 2 scenes, because this way you could jump back and forth between these two, so this one became a sort of toggle between scene 1 and scene 2. But of course, this one made not so easy to leverage the possibility of having 3 scenes. It was quite difficult to use that one, and there was no other option because you didn't have up and down. Now it is possible to change up and down, and in my opinion, this is probably a great addition to the first upgrade, so the Pro scene. Now you also can move freely from one to the other. So if you are in scene 3 and you want to jump to scene 1, you just need to press the right button, so you can move right and left whenever you want. You have the full control on the scene you're using. Again, another helpful functionality that has been added. Now it is time to have a look at the bonuses I have been promising you. The first one is the possibility that went really unnoticed. I don't know why, because in my opinion it's huge, to have 2 different delays in the same effect chain. So let's return to our effect chain. So have a look again into QuickTone, my screen here. You see that we have a delay and reverb, but you see that when I switch to let me return to English, so this way it's easier for you. When I go to reverb, it says that holding it, I can switch between reverb and delay. That's true. So if I keep it pressed, it becomes a delay. You see that I have already a delay that is tape etch. You can use even 2 different delays. That's not a problem. And you see that we have 2 different pedals here. But for example, I want exactly the same tape etch with different frequencies. Like for example, I want this one at 100 with low repetition. I want the second one at 67, 57 level and low repeat. And this way I have 2 delays. They can be placed in parallel as usual for all the After Effects. So the possibility to have reverb, modulation, and delay in parallel is still valid, even if you are using two different delays. But what is huge, in my opinion, here is that they can be kept in series, so one after the other, exactly like some live rigs that have become really famous. And I'm sure that if I let you hear what is happening, let me increase from a little the volume so that you can tell it better. Give me a second. This one. I know that you recognize this kind of delay because it's something that we always we really know. So that if I can try to let it know. Sorry, I cannot play it correctly, because copyright strikes are behind the corner. But in any case, it's something that I'm sure you recognize. In simple words, we are speaking about the effects that The Age, Pink Floyd, and so have become really famous. You can use it for Run Like Hell, for Where the Streets Have No Name, for Pride, for a lot of other songs like that. You know that the Edge in particular used to have two different delays, one behind the other, to hear the effects. Okay, you may know we already had the opportunity to use two delays in our NUX MG-30, and that was possible with the duo time delay that had a two channel. But this one is a stereo delay, and you may have experienced a drawback. When I put this signal into an external amplifier like mine, or that is what is happening normally in a live rig. If you have a mono system, you can only hear the left channel. They are not combined. Instead, if you're using this new opportunity, you will hear it even in a mono system. What I've been playing was a mono signal, so it could be you could tell that we had these effects one after the other, and you had those two delays out of sync that were running one after the other. Of course, there is a drawback. It is only possible to have two delays, not two reverbs, if you are asking to that because reverb is the most CPU intensive effect that a multi-effect machine can have, so it is possible to have only one. But if you want to sacrifice one of these for a delay, consider that delay and reverbs are very similar because normally reverbs are obtained overlapping many delays from a computer point of view, from an algorithm point of view. The reverb is obtained like that. Many delays, one on top of the other, and normally you have wider or smaller effects using changing the distance between the different delays. So that is how normally reverb is obtained. But it is very intensive because it requires to use many delays, calculate them. So you can understand that it is very intensive. So you have only one reverb. So it is only possible to have two delays or one delay and one reverb, or and no other effects can be converted into the delay, only the reverb. You cannot have the reverb and two delays. If you have two delays, the reverb is lost. Not a big deal, because having two delays one after the other, especially in this kind of sound, creates an effect, a three-dimensional effect that makes it very similar to having a reverb. So in my opinion, it's not a big deal. Honestly, I appreciate a lot of this functionality because it gives me the possibility to use my external speaker for my cabinet directly with MG30 for playing also those songs without the sensation that if I don't have my headphones to hear in stereo, I'm losing something. So it's a great opportunity. It can be very helpful sometimes. Consider that it is even possible to have two duo time delays, one after the other. So you can have four different delays contemporary, two on left channel, two on the right channel. It's incredible. It's incredible in my opinion. So let's go on with the second bonus. Time for the second bonus. There is also now, but for this I'm gonna switch off to the main screen, so let me return back. It is now possible to have another option that is obtained just pressing the fourth knob, that is this one. This one is an input level indicator that you can see. It makes it possible to see what is the level of your input of your guitar. It can be very practical, especially if you have many different guitars. For example, Gibsons are famous because their output is very strong. Or if you have, for example, a guitar with an active pickup, the input level could clip probably reach the red area. If this happens, the sound will, the tone will become distorted. It's something that is really unwanted, because if we want distortion, we are using effects for that. So this can help you monitor this one. There are some important warnings to keep in mind. This indicator, regardless it is so tiny, is very heavy from a CPU point of view. So it requires a lot of computational power from the machine. So many people experienced interferences. When it is activated, something can go wrong every now and then. My strong suggestion, I'm happy has been added. It's a pity it cannot be kept on every time, but honestly, when you have set the levels with your device, and you can do it, of course, using, for example, this knob. You can select the value, and you keep it, of course, at the regular value. It is not, well, it is a good addition, and it can be very helpful, in my opinion. But it is important that it is not, if it is always on, sometimes there are troubles. As I said, in my opinion, it's not a big deal. It's important that you know it, because normally you set the level for your guitars. If you have different guitars, different instruments, maybe you need to fine tune it or double check that it is fine. Then you can turn it off and go on with the configuration of your patch. Excuse me. So, good addition is not so advertised by the manufacturer because of the issues that many have identified. Because, as I said, it is very heavy from a computational point of view. But in any case, you can use it to set your levels since the beginning. The third bonus is a minor one, but in my opinion is very interesting, because I'm Italian, as you may know, is that now if you look in QuickTone and look at the languages, there are many more languages than there was in the past. In the past we only had Chinese and English. Now there is Korean, many European languages, French, German, Italian included, and that can be helpful. The translation is not perfect, I have to tell you. But in my opinion, it's a good news as well. I appreciated that one. You see, by the way, that when I change the language, also the size of the fonts has changed, because they try to set it with the difficult languages, like for example German, that has very long words and so on. Even this addition is a good implementation, and again shows the support that NUX is going to this old machine. We must be realistic. This one is an old machine from a commercial point of view. Absolutely not old from a usability point of view, for the possibilities that it gives, from the quality of tones that it can provide. So in my opinion, it's fantastic. But of course, from a commercial point of view, it is somehow, I don't mean dead, but it is a cash cow. So the NUX could have just stopped making any minor improvement, focus on different products, on developing new replacements. Instead, they were so kind to provide this great addition. You have seen that this video is very long because there are lots of things that have been changed. So thank you again to NUX from my side. I'm not endorsed, you know it. All the devices you see on the channel has been purchased with my own money. NUX not even know I exist because my channel is very small. I only focus on what I personally use. All the devices you have seen, or all the things I try, I test, are something that I do for myself, first of all. So if you find them useful, I'm very happy. And so thank you for watching the video so far, if you reached this one. But in any case, I would like to tell you that I'm completely independent from NUX. I'm really thankful for what they did today, because I have to be honest, my regular job, by the way, is in a big company, and we are making some development plans for the devices we provide. And I have to be honest, this one, if it was a device developed by my company, I don't think we would have invested so much effort for providing this firmware. So there were some troubles, yes, we know it. We know that the first release was full of bugs. Many of them have been fixed. So again, another focus. It could have been easier just to remove it and stop it like that. Say, okay, we tried, it didn't work. Instead, they insisted, and now we have this final version. But if you're not satisfied with this, if you find troubles, there is still on the website also the old version. So it's a great improvement. Okay, I finished at last. Sorry, it was a very long video, but I was so eager to show you all these updates that it took me some time to do it. If you find this useful, just let me know. Give me comments. If you have something to criticize, something that you would improve, just let me know. I'm very happy if I receive a feedback. Just be patient. I'm not applying any after editing on the videos. I'm just recording straight away and sending them, because my time is very limited. This is a full hobby for me. I'm not paid. I'm not receiving any sorry, I'm not receiving any charge for this. I'm doing it because I'm happy to share these functionalities. But feel free to give me any comment. I really appreciate that, and any feedback is what is pushing me on. If you're interested in the contents I produce, please consider subscribing in first place, so that you are notified where something new is appearing, because I try to provide a new video every week, but of course for my regular job I'm not always so faithful to my promises, so sorry for that. In any case, thank you for watching so far. I hope you will have a lot of fun with your with the new firmware NUX MG-30, and stay tuned, because next week I'm gonna publish the video about how to do this update without troubles and everything working as you have seen on my sample. Thank you again. Bye bye, everybody.